thing as well over. Like, okay, so this ended up getting delayed by like 5 minutes because this these stupid headphones, I could not find them. Anyways, let me go ahead and send you the link. Join. All right. So I'm live now. I know I started off kind of unprofessional, which is my bad. Anyways, let me pull up the document that I had before I had to restart my entire computer because of the headphones once again. And now I got to mute this site. So I should be able to pull up the document I had of basically what I wanted to talk about. So I have it right here. All right. That's an article I wrote. So also I have a guest coming on. Let me go ahead and put her thing in the description. This light is flickering and it's actually kind of bugging me. All right. So let me go and get Janice's channel description. Put that in here. All right. Anyways, let's get started on the topics I want to cover. Actually, I'll give Janice like a couple minutes or so to join in before I start. But yeah, so there's been a lot going on in the NBA lately. It's been kind of crazy, actually. I mean, you know, with Steph Curry's injury, which is actually the first topic I want to talk about. I mean, that could open a path for the Warriors to, you know, get tired early in the playoffs because, I mean, you know, it's definitely helps the Rockets, I'll say. I mean, obviously the Warriors are still going to win whoever they play, you know, the 8th seed. I mean, they're not that, you know, they're just too good. Kevin Durant alone can beat multiple teams in the playoffs. But, you know, I think that not having Steph Curry, you know, could take a toll on guys like Durant and Klay Thompson, you know, provided they're not injured as well. And I think that could definitely open up a path. So anyways, if you guys are in chat, feel free to ask questions or, you know, if you need my opinion on something or you want to have a discussion, you know, feel free to chime in. Let me go ahead. Let's check a few things as well. Let me make sure she got the Hangout form. All right. So, anyways, got my form filled out, ready to talk about some topics. I'm actually going to pull up Twitter as well over here. And I'm going to take a look at, maybe not Twitter, but I want to be able to look at stats over on my second screen over here for right now. Hello?
Mike.
Hey.
Hello?
How you doing?
I'm on. You can hear me and stuff?
Yep. I can also hear myself. Do you have like a headset or something?
I do. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry about that.
Hey, Jess.
All right. Yeah, it took me like actually my dad gave me this headset because I don't know where mine is. I think I left it at my girlfriend's. I don't know. She's watching. Jennifer, did I leave my headset at your place? Like my actual headphones? I have no idea. I can't find them. I also thought I had like 4 iPod like earbud things, and apparently I have 0. So that's great too.
Can you see me? No.
You have to. I think you have to say something, and then it'll like pop up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean, I can see your picture. I don't know about the video.
Oh, okay.
There's a camera thing at the top.
Yeah.
You just have to click the.
I don't know why it's saying that my camera is not working.
Do you have your webcam like configured?
Oh, no.
I'm not sure how to do that. I'm not a tech person. I
Um,
spent
me
like all
neither.
week learning how to do WordPress, and it was exhausting.
Oh my gosh. Can you use the camera without a working camera? Other person will see you. Okay. I don't know what this means, but hopefully it means that it'll work now. Is it working now? Yeah.
Yep, I got you. Hey, how you doing?
I was thinking about wearing sunglasses because my eyes are like really puffy from earlier
Really?
today. So
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it, but
Huh? Okay. All right.
no, this
That's
is
fine.
too much. When I put
That's
on sunglasses, I'm like, I look like a crazy person. So I'm gonna just leave it exactly how it is. If my eyes are puffy, my eyes are puffy. But hi.
You look fine. Hey. All right. You ready to get into some topics?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to start with the Steph Curry injury because I think that actually could open up a path for the Rockets.
I think that could open the path for anybody, really.
I mean,
because
sorry,
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I mean,
Because,
again, like the Warriors will win the series, whatever series they play in the first rounds, but they might go, more games, and it might tire out some of their other guys.
is any like are Klay Thompson and Draymond Green back yet?
So I think Clay might be.
Because
Actually, no,
I feel
Clay's
like they were
definitely.
out for a while too. I
Warriors.
feel like it was all four of them out for a while. I know something happened to Kevin Durant too.
I think he's definitely playing right now. Let me take a look. I should have had this up earlier.
I feel like I have no, okay. I feel like I have just been so out of touch with the NBA lately.
Yeah, it's I was just busy with school and stuff like that, but I've been doing it lately. So Curry's out until after the first round. Durant is not expected to return today. Draymond Green might be out today. They don't know. And Klay Thompson is expected back in the beginning of April. So all four of them are out right now. Yeah. But the only one that's for sure out in the playoffs as of right now is Curry.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're all coming back from injury, I mean, like, again, that's not good for them. And, the Rockets are really, really strong right now. I mean, the Rockets they have so much depth. It's really a scary roster.
Definitely.
And Clint Capella is one of those guys.
First round?
What was that?
Who do you think they'll be playing in the first round?
The Warriors?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. So I ruled out the Nuggets and the Spurs, I believe, from the playoffs.
I don't know. You never know. You really think the Spurs aren't making the playoffs?
I think that actually, let me take a look at because I think I talked about this but things might have changed. Yeah, so the Spurs will probably make the playoffs. I think you could probably rule out the Clippers and the Nuggets from the playoffs this year. So if it's the number 1 seed, they'll play Minnesota. What am I talking about? Minnesota. And Golden State at this point would play Utah, but there's like a 1.5 game difference between OKC at 4 and there's a 2 game difference between 4 and 8, OKC and Minnesota. So any of that could change. But as of right now, it looks like they would be playing Utah. So, that's not an easy matchup. Utah's looked pretty good this season, surprisingly.
Yeah, I was very surprised about that because Utah had that terrible losing streak earlier in the season, and I thought it was over for them. Like I thought they were just about to get a good draft pick, and
yeah, I mean, it looked like
I didn't see them coming back.
Looked like they were rebuilding, but I guess not. Donovan Mitchell's been so good. That's insane.
He changed the game for them because I really thought they were done for. I was over them, and then they just came back out of nowhere.
So I found actually a fun factoid the other day. I was looking up because I thought about Donovan Mitchell averaging over 20 per game, and I looked up when was the last time a rookie averaged over 20 points per game, and it was Blake Griffin in 2010, 2011. So it was a really long time ago that somebody averaged 20 points per game.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. That was just
It's weird. He was the,
game changer for them. And he wasn't even like, he wasn't like a low draft pick, but he was
a low lottery pick. That doesn't happen. Yeah. Devin Booker was drafted at the same spot, but Devin Booker did not break out in his rookie year
that way. Yeah.
Like, Kobe was drafted in the same spot. Kobe took 3 or 4 years to get to, that sort of really high level. So again, it came out of nowhere. He's really good. This whole rookie class is insane. So deep.
But usually when they break out like that, their rookie year, doesn't it usually, like, afterwards, it doesn't go so well? I've noticed a lot of players that have great rookie years,
So it depends. I don't think that'll apply to Donovan Mitchell. I think.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but.
Look at, like, what team they're on and what the roster is around them. Like, Donovan Mitchell is the best player on a playoff team.
Yeah.
Like, you look at, for example, Michael Carter-Williams. Everyone got excited about him in his rookie year. And he got all that stuff. I mean, his percentages were awful. His turnover rate was atrocious. And he was on a really bad team, and he just racked up a lot of numbers. So I think, you kind of got to look at the situation. And, I mean, Mitchell definitely has the efficiency. I mean, he's shooting at a decently high percentage for a rookie. Rookies don't shoot well. The rookies actually shoot kind of bad. So, I mean, he's shooting the ball 43% from the field, 33% from three, over 80% from the line. That's pretty good. He's only averaging 33.3 minutes, 20.3. I mean, he's doing pretty good. His win share per 48 is also pretty good for a rookie as well. So he's definitely, I think he can sustain this for sure. There's been so many other great rookies too, though. Have you been paying attention to Atlanta at all? John Collins.
At all. I know about John Collins, though. I've watched a couple games with John Collins in it, and I've seen definitely a lot of sparks there. Like, what was this kid? Where do they find him?
He's nuts. I mean, he's so athletic. I mean, I've seen some of his highlights, and it's just
that's for sure. And I don't even think he's like that tall.
Yeah, he's about 6'11", I think. Let me take a look.
Oh, he is?
Oh, he's 6'10", so it's not that tall. Yeah, he's technically listed as a power forward. He's probably like a center, though, I would say.
I forgot. I thought he was a little bit smaller than that. Maybe I'm confusing his height with me because he doesn't look that big when you look at him next to like the other. Like when you look at him next to like small forward, he doesn't.
Actually, it's kind of funny. Like, my man Kelly Olynyk is sort of like that too. Like, you sometimes don't realize he's 7 feet. Like, I've started calling him basically like a 7-foot Goran Dragic, because he basically, like, their games are like, I watch all the Heat games and stuff. They basically have the same exact moves. It's actually kind of funny. Like, they both use so many ball fakes and like footwork and stuff because they're not able to get past the shot blockers without doing that. It's just kind of neat. But yeah, like, he doesn't look 7 feet a lot of time out there.
Yeah, definitely. At first, I didn't even realize he was a center. I was like, wait a second. Look at him. Like, you have to be paying attention.
I heard Markelle Fultz. Actually, he just came back. It looks like I heard he was coming back. I didn't know he played last night. Let's. Did you see the whole thing about his shot? That was nuts.
No, I was on YouTube when I woke up. I still had like a TV show playing, and then I got on YouTube, and then I had noticed they were talking about, it was Jason Terry and the Undisputed. They were talking about Kawhi Leonard, and my next video I was gonna watch was about Markelle Fultz. But I never really understood like what it was, why he wasn't playing, because it wasn't supposed to be this long that he was out. Like,
honestly,
the injury
it's
wasn't that bad.
Like, you gotta be careful with the rookies there.
It's like they just had him there. It was just like, okay, well, we're just gonna have him here until he's doing what we want him to do, and then we're gonna put him out. Like, after what they did to Jahlil Okafor, it's like you really can't trust them. So
let me go ahead and answer this question from chat. What would it take for the Heat to win at least one playoff series? I think they have to get the 6th seed. I don't think
6th seed. If they got the 6th seed, wouldn't they be playing the
7th seed? I think that they can beat Boston. I actually do think they can beat Boston. They've kind of manhandled Boston this season. I think they're going to have to get the 7th. I don't think they can beat Toronto. Toronto sort of walked all over them a lot. And the Cavs have sort of, we'll see what happens with the Cavs tonight. The Cavs have shown that they haven't been able to handle Whiteside, but Whiteside's out. And Whiteside's also playing at a lower level this year, which is kind of unfortunate.
Definitely.
But, I mean, they're only one game, actually a half game out from the 7th seed right now. If they can get that and take on the Celtics in the first round, I think they might have a chance.
They're a half game out from the 7th seed?
Huh?
The Heat are a half game out from the 7th seed?
Yeah, so Milwaukee's 39 and 34,
Oh
and
yeah,
Miami's
yeah.
39 and 35. But I mean, again, the
Yeah.
Heat are playing the Cavs tonight, and that's not so great.
I
But
don't know. I don't know because everybody has these expectations for the playoffs, like, oh, LeBron James, he's just gonna become a beast in the first round, and well, not in the first round, but in the playoffs, and like they may lose in the regular season, but it's gonna be different. I don't
mean,
know.
see like the problem with the Cavs for the Heat is that the Heat don't have anybody that can defend a guy like LeBron right now. I mean,
Yeah,
Winslow
at
can be
all.
okay maybe, but Winslow's probably just not quite strong enough. And Richardson's can kind of be annoying. Richardson's a great defender, but also Richardson's probably not strong enough. You could try putting somebody like Olynyk on him. That might be the best bet, just because Olynyk is probably the best bet to sort of at least contest most of LeBron's shots.
Yeah, sorry,
but or actually Bam Adebayo might actually be the best. Just because Bam can guard in and out. But I mean, Bam tried to defend him, I think, in the last game against the Cavs, and he got destroyed. So again, I just I don't know if the Heat necessarily have an answer for LeBron, but I don't
feel like any team that plays the Cavs in the first round is going out, because even if something happened and they don't make the finals, he's not going out in the first round.
Oh, I wouldn't. I mean, he hasn't gone out in the first round in a long time.
It's like, to me, it's not just him and his mentality. It's literally like, I just feel like it's just not going to happen. It's not going to be allowed. Like, that's just not going to be a thing. LeBron going out in the first round. Like, that's when you know that all is lost. Like, they're allowing LeBron to go out in the first round now. No.
But I mean, our local Wizards, are probably, or right now they're in a place to.
Man, I don't know what the heck is wrong with them.
They're so weird. I don't. Apparently now John Wall is hated there.
He's not, but like I feel like he's a different person now. Like something about him just feels different. It's not just the hair. It's literally like something about him feels different.
What happened with his hair?
He's growing his hair out to some little braids now, and so he just looks different. Like
he has like his head shaved most.
He has a weird like disposition now, especially like towards the team. Like you don't see that brotherly relationship, camaraderie, nothing. Like it's literally just like he's there on the bench.
Yeah, and I know that in the post game interviews and stuff, they've been taking shots at him for some reason.
Definitely. And
has he become sort of a ball hog over there a little bit?
I don't really feel like he's a ball hog per se. I feel like the team relies on him. Like when your parents are going to come help you, so you really don't care what happens.
Yeah.
They have that mentality towards him, like, oh, he'll do it. And so no one, it's like, I feel like everybody has the ability to do what they're supposed to do. I feel like they just don't do it because they feel like he's going to do it. And they relax. They relax when he's around, like, oh, he'll do it.
Bradley Beal's definitely taking that role, though, this year, it seems like.
It seems like, but to me, it's still not anything that he's ready for. Like, even he claims jokingly, he said the other day, like, oh, I can't wait for John to come back so they can stop doubling me. Leave me alone. Who says that?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's reasonable. I don't know why you would say that, but
yeah, I'm like, who says that, like, in an interview? Like, I don't care if you're joking. Like, who says that?
Yeah, it's not necessarily a really professional answer.
After everything that happened, like, now you're just like, oh, I'm tired. I mean, it seems like
did he really say he was tired? I mean, you can't say that.
He has this attitude, like, oh my gosh, when they lose in his post game interviews, usually he's like peppy. He literally something like this. Well, I don't know why. We gotta do better. I'm like, what are you doing? It's every time they lose, they put that he has that, well, that woe is me voice, like, we don't feel sorry for you.
It sounds like a Scottie Pippen type of thing almost. You remember when Michael Jordan retired and then Pippen took over the team and he was still winning, but it was like he freaked out when they wanted Tony Kukoc to take the last shot, and then like he was famous for sort of melting down in interviews when Michael wasn't there, and he's a really good player. Scottie Pippen was an excellent basketball player, couldn't be the number one guy because he just didn't have the personality and character for it.
I feel like that's kind of like Beal's issue. Even when they were having that thing where people were saying that they were not getting along, even though I know they were, but people were saying they weren't getting along, and they were saying, what did they say? He was saying, oh, we're both alpha males. And I'm like, you're really not. I think you think you are. I think John really is, but I think you think you are. So that might be where you guys differ, because you can clearly see that John has alpha male tendencies. He's more like to take over. He's in that. He's the type of person where he always has to be in charge. If he's a part of the situation, he's in charge. He's running things. He's not like, oh, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to take orders. But I feel like Bradley thinks he's an alpha male, but he's really not.
Yeah, that's kind of what I get from Russell Westbrook a little bit. I think it takes a leader type of thing to admit that you can't do certain stuff. And that's one of the things I've learned in leadership roles is like, I can't do everything. I'm not good at everything. I'm good at certain things.
Yeah.
But I feel like Russell Westbrook tries to take too much into his own hands at once. And he's done this so many times where he'll just shoot his team out of the game at the end of the game. And it's I mean, he's so talented. He's such a good basketball player. But I think his attitude is always going to hold him back. And it's a shame because he's so talented. But when you see him jack up a three when they're ahead by like 3 points or something with a minute left, it's just I just don't understand what could possibly be going through his mind. He knows he doesn't shoot the three well. I don't get it. He's like Josh Smith in that. It's ridiculous. And he's so talented. He just throws it all away because he doesn't understand that, you don't need to be good at everything to be one of the best players in the league. Yeah, like Michael Jordan couldn't shoot the three. He didn't care. He just didn't shoot a lot of threes. And, there's plenty, like Dwayne Wade for most of his career didn't take a heck of a lot of threes. Dwayne Wade wasn't a great 3-point shooter. So, I think one of the things that LeBron does, and I think this is something that Lonzo Ball's pretty good at too, and I mean, I've been a big defender of him all season, is that, a good leader doesn't have to be vocal and doesn't have to take over the game. A good leader just, plays the game and makes the right play and sets a good example of professionalism and, makes good decisions and does a good job, basically leading, the team in any way that they can. I think that LeBron's always been a guy who's been able to do that pretty well. And
definitely.
For example, everyone got on LeBron's case for that one game where he gave the ball up to Haslam to shoot at the end of the game. But, if you look at it, that's the right decision. Haslam, his entire career, I watched him his entire career. He makes that shot usually. I mean, he missed that one, but he makes them. And that was the right play to make at the time. And everyone got on LeBron's case, but then everyone calls him selfish. And it's just, he makes whatever play needs to be made. And that happens to be the play that needs to be made. And I think I see a lot of that in Lonzo, and you just don't see that in a guy like Russell Westbrook, because Russell Westbrook will just shoot the ball. Definitely. What's going to happen when he has the ball at the end of the game.
It's like he doesn't see anybody else or think of anybody else. It's like, this is a moment, here where you could pass the ball or, do something differently. But it's like, no, you do the exact same thing every time. And I know people used to get on LeBron a lot about that, like, oh, LeBron defers. He's afraid of the big moment. It's like, no, he's going to make the smart play. It's like, but nobody had a problem when Kyrie was taking the last shot and they won a championship. But it's like, oh, if LeBron passes, he's afraid of the big moment.
Yeah, I
feel like that's what's his name? I feel like that's Russell Westbrook's mentality. It's always going to be his mentality. It's always been. It has nothing to do with anybody else, but with him having been under Scott Brooks for a long period of time, and he's the type of person to even still keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Isn't Scott Brooks really not a strong coach? Doesn't he just let his players do whatever they want, sort of?
I kind of feel like he says that he doesn't, but at the end of the day, he clearly is, because they're still doing whatever they want.
I mean, it's clear that he's lost control of the locker room in Washington at this point. It's clear that he doesn't have control of that locker room. I mean, you try that with Eric Spoelstra in Miami, you're getting benched the next game. I mean, there's a reason that LeBron, Spoelstra was the only coach that LeBron didn't oust, or at least try to oust when he got there. He ousted David Blatt. He ousted multiple guys in Cleveland. He never tried to get rid of Spoelstra.
Tyronn Lue's out here.
He's sick though, apparently.
On sick leave. Yeah. But we know that's he's stressed. He's stressed. He's like, oh, he can't sleep at night. It's chest pains, everything like that. He's stressed out from everything. I'm so glad he's getting a break though, because
I mean, he's
gracious.
He's an interesting coach. I remember him when he played. So we got a chat question.
He's not he's the most hilarious coach, because it's he's just there. He's there. He's on sidelines. He's yelling, but it's anybody listening to you? Yeah, what are you really doing? This is LeBron's team. He's just on the sidelines, just yelling. Sometimes I feel like he just tells them, go out there, just do what you want. Just go out there and win the game. Just do something. Or one time he was like, "We winning, y'all. We good." What? That's what you said?
That's
just all right, y'all. We winning. We good. Come on. I'm just
But
like, wow.
let me go ahead and grab this chat question real quick.
Okay.
Should the Heat decide to rebuild this summer, start from scratch, or should they continue to retool the team? It's going to be hard to rebuild. I mean, there's a lot of contracts. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you have too many contracts.
Like, I mean, Tyler Johnson would probably be the one you'd want to move. I mean, I think you keep Richardson just because Richardson has a really friendly contract, and Winslow still has one more year on his rookie contract.
There's no problems with him. Like, what's the point? What would you move?
But yeah, I think we've seen the best from Tyler Johnson at this point.
I think Dion Waiters can go.
Like, I like Waiters. I like what he offers, and I like his attitude, and I like him as a person. But I mean, he has a history of injuries, which is a concern. Yeah, and injuries are sort of what keep him from heating up. And when he can heat up, I mean, he's a huge asset to the team. But again, and he also has the 4-year something like $52 million.
Yeah.
You also have Whiteside's contract. I don't know who's going to take that at this point. I think we've also seen the best from Whiteside, unfortunately. I think if you can find a way to, I mean, again, like you could probably, Winslow's shown some improvement. You could probably try and move him if you want to, but I like the improvement Winslow's showing. And actually, it's kind of surprising. I looked up the plus minus.
I definitely like this.
Yeah. Like Winslow's the second
he's showing, because that was not there earlier. Like he popped out of nowhere.
What, the Winslow shooting?
Yeah, like before, I feel like before he was looking like, okay, this just might be what it is for right now, but he just kind of just returned. I feel like his return had definitely something to do with Dwayne Wade being back.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like that just gave him his confidence back a little bit. Like, okay, you're here. And so it's like he returned after they kind of disappeared beforehand. I was like, what is going on here? Like, there was so much high hopes for him, and then he just kind of
it was so disappointing.
And then he just came back out of nowhere, like, okay, that's fine, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, so I remember when we drafted him, and I was really excited because he looked like a polished guy. Yeah. And then he just didn't develop his offensive game. But I think the main thing this year is that he's learned how to shoot. So he can make the corner three, and he can defend really well. He can, run the offense and stuff. I mean, he's +4 when he's in the game. And he's second only to Olynyk, who's like +6.1 or something. So, I mean, when he's in the game, the Heat are much better. When he and Olynyk are in the game, those are the two guys that are the highest plus minus. I think Richardson's like plus point something. And then Dragic and Whiteside are both minus a bunch. So Wayne Ellington's also pretty high up on the plus minus as well, surprisingly. So, I don't know if you would, Winslow's the guy you want to get rid of.
I don't think so. Not at this moment. I
also think James Johnson's contract is really hefty for what he puts on. I mean, again, I like all of these guys. All these guys are a positive for the team, but some of them have contracts that are sort of unjustifiable at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it looked, it was looking like something originally, and then now it's like, do we really need you?
Like you could do,
especially with the development of like the other guys. It's like,
oh yeah,
you could just. What is James Johnson contract? Because didn't he just sign it?
James Johnson has the biggest one of all of
90, right?
Yeah, James Johnson's 4 years, $60 million. Again, so I think the way you want to do this, if you do want to try and clear up some cap space, the Nets have sort of started doing this where they'll like take other teams' big contracts off their hands if they also send draft picks. And I don't think the Nets have any more room, but I wouldn't be surprised to see other teams sort of follow in that suit. If you can find a team that's rebuilding and doesn't mind taking on a big contract or two, and you don't mind standing over a draft pick because, the Heat don't really draft very high anyways, usually. That's probably a way I could see a team taking these contracts. I don't think any serious contender will take Tyler Johnson for 4 years, 52, or James Johnson for 4 years, 60. Again, like no diss on those guys. Like I love those guys. Like the brothers Johnson are awesome. James Johnson is probably one of my favorite players in the league nowadays. But, they're very pricey, and it prevents you from having enough cap space to sign a game-changing player. So I think you have to find a way to get at least through those bad contracts. Josh Richardson's the one you obviously don't want to get rid of. He's only 4 years, $40 million, and he's probably the best all-around player on the team.
Yeah, definitely.
So Whiteside's contract, I don't see that going in there either. Even with Bam Adebayo. Yeah.
Even if we've seen the best out of Hassan Whiteside, I still feel like what he offers can still really help a team. So it's like, even we've seen so-called the best out of him, I still feel like at full strength, he could definitely help a team. And if somebody's thinking about it like that, then I think somebody would take it.
Yeah, so this is the kind of the when people talk about should the Heat go with Bam Adebayo permanently now, like Bam Adebayo just doesn't have the offensive game that Whiteside does.
I feel like not yet. Nice. He's a rookie. Like we're not.
Yeah, but
looking at it like
he doesn't have the same length and like Whiteside's kind of an athletic freak. I mean, Whiteside's one of a kind in terms of his athleticism. He's kind of like he's not the same extent as Shaq, but like you can't replicate the kind of stuff that Whiteside can do because Whiteside's just his physical gifts are more than what a guy like Bam Adebayo might have. Adebayo can be a very good serviceable big man. I think in an ideal situation, in his prime, he could put up maybe 15 and 10, 15 points, 10 rebounds. He's never going to do what Whiteside does. And again, it just depends on how much you value your center. If you want your center to be the best player on your team, then, Whiteside is probably a better option than Bam Adebayo. But I mean, so this is something I wanted to write about in an article for the website, which is that I don't think the big man is as valuable as people are making it out to be. And it's unfortunate.
I think it is.
Like you can.
You say you don't feel like it's as valuable as people are making it out to be.
Yeah, so I don't think that building a team around somebody like Karl Anthony Towns is going to win.
Oh no, not to build around. But I mean, complimentary.
So it's good to have a big man. Again, like Whiteside's contract's the biggest on the Heat, so technically they're building around him.
Yeah.
And that obviously didn't really work. Also, big men get injured easier too, which is not good.
I'm not. That wouldn't be my ideal. Like, okay, we're gonna build around this guy because it's just too much uncertainty in that.
Yeah, I mean, Embiid might be the exception though. He's insane. I mean,
oh my goodness,
he's ridiculous. I haven't seen a guy like him in my lifetime, honestly.
I'm like, who wants to play you? Like, who wants to like? There's no answer.
Like hate each other. It's kind of funny.
And then and then his personality on top of everything, it's just like I can't deal with you. But if he was on my team, of course I would love him. But like because he's not, like
he's pretty goofy on Twitter, from what I've seen. Twitter and like Instagram and stuff.
He's
with all this like sliding into the DMs and stuff. Oh my god, why do athletes?
His interviews are hilarious. Like
he's pretty funny.
His accent, everything. It's just like wow.
Yeah, he's I mean, he's just one of the problems I had with him was that he was doing it before he even got on the court. It's like, why don't you like get on the court and show that you're good before you do this? But I mean, he went and did it, so that's fine.
Yeah, he did. So,
but if he had just busted,
like, yeah. And now I'm like, okay, say what you want to say.
But I mean, again, I didn't want to like get on the Joel Embiid train until I could see that he could stay healthy. But he's stayed relatively healthy this season. I mean, he's had a few injuries, but he's played the majority of the games. He's not on a minutes restriction anymore, which is good.
Yeah.
I think, again, I still need to see.
I'll never be on the Ben Simmons train. So.
But I'll join the Joel Embiid like nearly a full season one year. So I'll
join the Joel Embiid train. I'll never join the Ben Simmons hype train.
You don't like Ben Simmons? I hate Ben. I mean, is that like a personal thing, or is that a?
To me, Ben Simmons is just not very much of a likable person.
Is he? I've never met him. I've heard. I know.
From what I've heard, from what I've seen, just his demeanor, his attitude. He's not really a likable person. But as far as like a player, it's not. I don't even dislike Joel. I don't even dislike Ben Simmons as a player. I just feel like him and Embiid are just like so much over there in Philly. It's like. I feel like they're coming up so quickly. It's like, oh, what is this? And plus, I have a cousin in Philly that's like sports obsessed. He's like swears that Philly's winning it all this year, and so of course I'm betting against them.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to win. I mean they're lucky to have football. Honestly, football's a good one. But I don't see them winning. The finals this year. But again, like I think. You have to look. Does Fultz?
I want them to see LeBron in the first round.
Let's see if that's possible. It depends. That would be kind of funny though.
That's what I want to see. I would watch that too. Is it possible? No, I mean unless they both move down a spot.
Yeah, so
they're probably not going to.
Right now, I mean, it's possible that they could drop to the. Like mathematically, it's possible, but it's unrealistic. It's probably not going to happen. Mathematically, though, they do not have their 4th seed locked down yet. So, but I just do you see them falling behind Washington?
The
Washington's
76ers?
3 games behind them, and there's like 9 games left to go in the season. So Washington would have to.
Anything is possible, but at this point, not really.
But Markelle Fultz is back, so they're going to win every game probably, right? With his crazy jump shot that is inexplicably awful. Did you see that his footage in college? He got fine in college. I
didn't watch anything about his game last night, but I assumed he fixed that.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll have to look at the highlights, but so there's sort of a conspiracy going around that Ben Simmons is kind of like Tristan Thompson in that he's shooting with the wrong hand too. Like Tristan Thompson started off shooting with his left hand, I believe, but he switched over to his right, and he actually started shooting a little bit better. So, like, it could be the same thing with Simmons, where it's just there's a reason he can't shoot the ball, despite, it's not like his shot is awful or anything. It looks like he's rigid. It looks like he's uncomfortable with his shot. I don't know. I mean, that could, fix his shot if he tries to shoot righty instead.
I feel like the shot is the only thing he's missing right now. So.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
I'm not saying anything. If he's not making them, he's not making them.
Yeah, I mean, but again, it's if he's shooting with the wrong hand, that definitely could be something as well. So let me go ahead and I want to take a look at so with free agency coming up, who do you think LeBron's staying in Cleveland? Do you think he's going elsewhere? You think he's going to go hang out with LeVar Ball in LA?
Previously, if you asked me, I would have said LeBron's leaving. Right now, I would still say LeBron's leaving. If you ask LeBron, he's going to be like,
tired from moving around so much.
Well, I mean, I feel like he's leaving, but at the same time, I feel like he's not.
Yeah,
it's like I see it, but I just don't see it.
I don't know why he would want to at this point. I mean, like, so for example, do you remember John Salmons? Remember that guy?
The name sounds familiar, but I can't.
Yeah, he's an oldie. He was on like a different team every single season. Could you imagine like having to move cities every year and sometimes mid-year as well?
Yeah, and especially if you have kids. Like LeBron has kids that are settled into schools and stuff.
Yeah, that's just nuts. But I mean, that just in general, like, traveling. Anytime I even think about getting on a plane, I just get tired. So, like, I don't, I moving is definitely not something that is easy. And again, LeBron's kind of settled in. It looks like he's got some good young talent around him. They have a high draft pick. I don't know why he would leave.
Oh yeah, the Nets have gone back to being the Nets, so they do have.
Yeah, so
for a second there, it was looking like they weren't good.
So they're not as bad as they were last year. It doesn't look like. But I mean, again, they haven't had like a high draft pick and I mean, technically they have Okafor and D'Angelo Russell. Those are like their 2 high draft picks. But like they have some good young guys. I really like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. I was a Nets writer a couple years back for Fansided, and I followed a lot of Rondae Hollis-Jefferson back in the day, and I wrote a lot of articles like, here's why the Nets might not be awful forever. That was like most of my articles, I feel like.
I feel like the Nets don't even have to be awful.
It doesn't matter. Like they have no reason to not try to win because they don't get their draft pick anyways. But like they threw away their future for guys that were basically really, really old.
I was like, those guys were old. I'm just like, what did you think was gonna happen?
I don't know. Billy King, I see him sometimes. He seems like a really nice guy. Have you ever seen like a Billy King interview? He seems like one of the sweetest guys I've ever seen. But the moment he starts like talking about his opinion on basketball moves and stuff, like I'm like, dude, look at the trade that you did. You don't,
you're canceled.
Yeah. Why are you on this show? Why, like, it's just, again, it's hard to take the guy seriously after doing that. It was such an obvious bad move. I mean, I don't know if the owner pushed him to do it, but even if the owner pushed him to do it, like, it's still an awful move. Yeah. I mean, you should try and talk some sense into the owner, because and if you're trying to make a big splash and that's the best you can do, like, that's not good. So, but I mean, and they could have probably gotten those guys for less too. You probably get like what, 1 draft pick and maybe like a couple swaps or something. They give up 3 unprotected first round picks. So it's just,
and then you see who those turned out to be. It's like
some of them, yeah. I mean, so one of them was Marcus Smart, which is
I mean, he could have helped their team. Jaylen Brown is a good player.
I know one of their picks turned into Damian Lillard, which is that was the one for Gerald Wallace. Yeah, that one turned into Damian Lillard.
Oh,
if you look at like what the roster they could have, it's actually kind of sad almost. So they could they could have Derek Favors still. They could have, still kept Derek Favors. They could have, I believe they could have had Lillard. They could have had Marcus Smart. They also could have had, let me take a look. Who did they grab in this draft?
They could have Jaylen Brown,
right? So Terry Rozier. Yeah. And then Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Yeah, but I say Jason Tatum would have.
They could have also had Markelle Fultz too. Because they got the number 1.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, like Damian Lillard is the one that's like, how do you guys like, and they traded an unprotected first-round pick for Gerald Wallace. Like Gerald Wallace was a solid player back in the day. I don't think I'd ever give up a unprotected first-round pick for him. So it's bizarre.
They really could have been something, and then what they always end up with is like. First of all, the talent they end up with, and then even when they trade and they pick up those contracts like Jahlil Okafor and they get like D'Angelo Russell, and it's just like you guys got the guys that people already gave up on these guys, like not because I get it, but for their own reasons, and it's just like. What are you gonna do that's gonna make this a better situation?
Like I don't really think that any of those trades were really bad. I mean, again, what they were trying to do is
but if you think about what they would have had compared to what they do have, and it's just
I mean, Sean Marks is doing a pretty good job over there for right now. I mean, he's done a pretty good job drafting some guys.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Spencer Dinwiddie's solid. I mean, Hollis Jefferson's nice. Karis LeVert. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Karis LeVert. I love Karis LeVert. He's a really good player. He plays every night like he has like 15 kids to feed at home. Like
really,
that's the type of player that's what you want to see from somebody.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. And then Jared Allen is somebody that's really going under the radar this year, but he's really good. He's a really good player.
I like Jared Allen.
His afro alone is worth like loving him for.
He literally looks like he's 57.
Oh, it's like a throwback. It's like remember Josh Childress? It's like Josh Childress's.
Yeah.
Josh Childress was awesome with that afro, except that hopefully Jared Allen won't go to Europe with the team's money. Yeah. Actually, I don't think that's what Josh Childress did. I think Josh Childress just got offered a bunch of money to go play in Europe. Like I think Europe wanted him more than the NBA, which was kind of interesting. That's a weird story. So do you think Paul George is staying in OKC?
No.
Because he keeps saying that he is. And,
you could tell he's lying.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, again, it's what else are you going to say when you're about to go on a playoff run? I agree. But I think he probably wants to go play with Lonzo. I would want to go play with Lonzo. Honestly.
I think he does too. I mean, and after his little outburst last year, you don't want to just be known as that guy that's just.
Who, Paul George's outburst?
Yeah.
When did he do that?
I wouldn't really call it an outburst, but do you remember his attitude after they lost in the playoffs last year?
Yeah. I mean, like I get it.
I mean, not saying that he wasn't supposed to have an attitude, but it was kind of just like so clear at that moment. Like, yeah, he's not staying.
I mean, LeBron had that same outburst when he found out about Delonte West and what Delonte West was up to behind the scenes. So that'll never get old. I'm sorry, that never gets old. Do you know what I'm talking about, right?
I kind of feel like I do, but at the same time, I always feel like I confuse.
So there is a rumor, and I think it's still to this day is unconfirmed, that Delonte West and LeBron's mom, LeBron's mom during that season, that last season in Cleveland, may have had some fun out. Some extracurricular fun. And
I don't know why I confuse him with Dante Jones, but yes, I do.
Delonte West, though, was one of the dumbest guys in NBA history. Like he was really stupid, and it was unfortunate because he had such a bunch of talent, but like I think he's like homeless or something now, and it's it's a shame. But
yes, him, yes.
Like you look at guys like LeBron and Dwayne Wade and stuff, and they're all smart guys and they know how to save. Like they'll be fine after their the paycheck goes away. But guys like Delonte West and there's a bunch of guys like that too. I think wasn't Allen Iverson? I don't know if Allen Iverson was one of them, but there's a lot of guys who.
Allen Iverson is one of those that's just wild with the money.
Like he just like threw it all away and stuff, and it's just you're broke at a certain point. And
I mean, he still has money, but it's not because of the only reason the reason he has money is not because of him. He has money because of how his deal was set up.
Really,
the deal that was his shoe deal or whatever deal that he had. I don't know who he had the shoe deal with, but that's how it was like set up a weird way.
Yeah, that probably that would
like because they knew he was gonna run through it. So the deal is set in this weird way that like some of it's left over so he can still have it.
Like if you think about it, Allen Iverson has sort of a very similar attitude to Westbrook, except maybe Allen Iverson's a little bit better. Yeah. But they're sort of very similar.
You know who's always, I know this is not like really a player comparison, but
hold on, you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
You know who kind of reminds me of Allen Iverson? Trey Burke with the looks.
Oh yeah. No, they call him like mini AI, right?
Yeah. And the hair now, because it was before the hair. To me, before the hair, he just had he just kind of reminded me of him, but now it's like, yeah.
Did you ever see Iverson in his rookie year with his hair where it was like a little mini afro? Mm-hmm. And then he got the braids, probably a good call because his hair was like really silly looking at first. He was not Jared Allen level. I mean,
everybody's hair looks silly when they first start growing it out, and then eventually
it just depends.
Once you start getting it braided, I think it depends on like the shape of your head, how you carry it, how your hair looks in general. But
so like when you get to like an Iman Shumpert level or like a Chris Anderson, like Birdman level, it's like again, it's. I think Iman Shumpert's probably the goofiest, but
yeah, with that, because it's just to me, I'm over. It's like it's too much. It's like your hair is like up here. You look like Gerald from Hey Arnold at this point.
Yeah, it's like Bert from Bert and Ernie.
Get a trim.
But Justice Winslow had like he grew his hair out.
I like Justice Winslow,
but he's cut it a little bit, and he looks really good with it. Cut now. It's a little bit better like that.
To me, that's his look for right now. I don't see him with like a fade or.
Also, Richardson got braids, and Richardson looks pretty good with the dreadlock braids. He looks.
Yeah, at first I like it more than I didn't like it, but it grew on me. I was like, okay, it works.
It's I definitely like that. And then but I don't know why I'm commenting on NBA players.
Yeah, I was like, wait, why are we talking about NBA?
Definitely a little bit derailed. It's fun though. It's a good conversation.
I know. I was like, what is everybody else thinking looking at this?
So I want to talk about the big men thing. I want to go sort of past Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns. What do you think about a guy like Nikola Jokic? Do you think that they can build around him there?
Yes, I feel like he's like the exception because he's kind of a point guard at the same time. So
I'm starting to question how valuable that is, though, in terms of being a big man. Is it really that valuable to be a point guard?
It's nice.
Because it's
a nice ability to have. To me, you want your big men to have you want them to have as many abilities as possible and advantages as possible. You don't want a guy that's like, all right, here I am in the post. I'm not going anywhere. And then of course you want rim protection, but you just don't want him like literally sitting there.
It's true.
Basically, you don't want a career where a guy is, decent, and then next thing you turn around, you have a Gortat on your hands. And
but Gortat was
the whole world's dragging him, and you just don't want that. You want somebody that
Gortat
has a lot
that
of
was a bad contract always. But
and then after everything, he goes and says, "I want to retire in Orlando."
Who, Gortat? Why? He didn't even do anything in Orlando.
He wants to retire in Orlando. He says where he lives. He said he doesn't care. He said he doesn't care if he is only there for 3 months. He said he doesn't care if he doesn't even play. He said he just wants to be there in that blue and white uniform. When I heard that, I was like, look at you, sad.
He wants to, once again, go be the backup to Dwight Howard for the first season. That's a weird thing to say, honestly. Like, it's one thing if Dwayne Wade's like, I want to retire in Miami, or LeBron's like, I want to retire in Cleveland, or Kobe's like, I want to retire a Laker. And then it's another if Marcin Gortat's like, I want to retire an Orlando Magic. It's
that's what he said. When he said that, I was like, you have really lost your mind, huh?
That's like Omer Asik being like, I want to retire a Chicago Bull. It's like, yeah, the days where you backed up Joakim Noah.
And then the fact that he said he doesn't even care if he plays or not. He said he just wants to be there.
I don't.
So go sit in the audience. How about that? How about you just quit right now and go sit in the audience? Buy the season tickets and go sit in the audience.
You guys just want, the Wizards need to stop giving bad contracts to average centers. Honestly, that's probably the
definitely
best way to deal with it at this point.
You see guys like Jan Mahimi start to come around, but it's like, okay, you're coming around, but you still get $16 million for your just now coming around halfway through the season.
Jan Mahimi, I don't.
He's getting 60. He signed a $64 million contract.
No, I knew that. Yeah, but like,
years.
How did he pull that off? Who was the negotiating for him, and how can I like sign that guy?
Whoever it is, I need to meet them because I mean they can really help me with my life. Because
like, that's arguably worse than a Mozgov deal. Like this guy, the most points he ever put up per season was less than 10. Yep. And he's getting a lot of money to do that. So it's ridiculous. That was a weird desperate situation because I think it crippled multiple teams. The teams that had like the money at the wrong time that offseason, it crippled a bunch of teams. Like the Trailblazers, I think probably took the biggest hit. I mean, the contracts they shelled out were insane. Like they gave Evan Turner 4 years, $72 million to dribble and not play defense. They gave Alan Crabb, who's actually not the worst player, but they gave him like 4 years, like 50 something. Actually, what did they give Alan Crabb? I know the Nets have been like trolls with this kind of stuff. The Nets do this all the time nowadays, where they did it to you guys with Otto Porter too. Yeah, they'll like offer like an insane restricted free agency contract. Or something.
I mean, they've been trolling. They have the right. I give them the right to do it. I mean, look what they did.
It's funny.
They have nothing to lose at this point. They're just trolling the league. Like, oh, okay, you want him back? Okay, we'll help you get there. All right, bye.
Like they did it to the Heat and Tyler Johnson too, and it's just like, ugh. Like the Heat would not have probably given Tyler Johnson that deal had the Nets not signed him to that offer sheet. So I was actually surprised that the Heat matched it at the time because it was so lucrative. But they did it with Alan Crabb. They did it with Otto Porter. It's kind of funny. It's almost, I don't know if they're even being serious or not. It's really funny.
Alan Crabb is still with them.
Yeah. Huh?
Alan Crabb is still with.
No, so the Nets actually traded for him the year after they did that to Portland.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, so like they did it to Portland in that offseason, and then Portland kept him that year. Mm-hmm. And then this past offseason, a year later, the Nets got him anyways in a trade.
What did they get for him?
So they got a draft pick in this upcoming draft. I think they have Portland's upcoming pick, I believe. I mean, that's not, again, it's going to be playoffs, so it's not going to be a high draft pick. Yes, but the Nets have gotten Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, and Rondae Hollis-Jefferson all in the 20s. And Spencer Dinwiddie, I think, was a second round pick.
They could be better. They could be a lot better. It's just, it's like something is missing in a sense.
Well, the thing that's missing from the Nets is like just any sort of high level player. I mean, these guys are solid, but they're not like superstars.
Definitely.
So, I mean, even the Heat, who don't have necessarily a superstar, Goran Dragic is better than anybody that the Nets have. So, Goran Dragic can score. Josh Richardson's a pretty good all around player. The Heat have a system. They have coach fluidity. So,
yeah.
It's definitely a better, but I mean, the Nets have some really solid players. I don't know if they're going to start to win until they get that star. Yeah, and I'm not sure if anybody on that roster right now is that star. I mean, I think Jared Allen could end up being a really strong player, but I think they're probably going to need to either draft somebody high in 2019 when they finally have their first round pick, or they maybe could find a way to lure somebody. I mean, again, Brooklyn's not a bad city to play in. And I've been to that arena there. It's so nice. You ever been to Barclays?
No. I know my sister has, but I've never been there.
Yeah, so I was a Nets writer, and so my parents and I went to New York City, and I was like, I want to go to a Nets game. We've been to Knicks games. I want to go to a Nets game because why not, right? Also, I got to experience Boban Marjanovic having MVP chanted like firsthand. Like all the Spurs fans, when Boban came on the court, started chanting MVP. And I didn't so the Nets had just fired, what was it? Lionel Hollins, like the day before or something. Not the day before, but like that week. And a former Spurs coach had become the coach of that team. And so that guy was on the screen at the same time as Boban was getting into the game. And so I thought that they were excited that their former coach had become the head coach of the Nets. Turns out that they were just shouting MVP for Boban Marjanovic. And I'd never even heard of Boban before that game. And like there was a Spurs fan sitting near us, and I was like, what's going on here? What is this? And the guy was like, oh, they do this every time Boban comes in the game. It's insane though, because I don't know if do you follow like win shares per 48 or anything like that? Any of those stats?
I don't know.
Okay. It's like it's like those advanced type stats. Boban Marjanovic has some like legitimately insanely like good stats in terms of advanced stats. It's actually kind of funny. But point being, I got really sidetracked. That's just what I do. Is that so I mean, Barclays is a nice place. Brooklyn's right near New York City. If you like the city, you go play on the Nets. But I think the Nets have to show that they can sort of improve and maintain sort of a good system in order to get people there.
It's just it's not really so much. It is the lack of superstar and talent, but it's just they're just at a weird place, and it's like, I mean, they win games at times, but nobody really respects them. People, it's just. I don't want to call it bad luck, but
it's not bad
luck. Somebody's got to lose, basically, and at the end of the day, it's usually the Nets.
It is nowadays, but that's because they were so overly impatient. They just couldn't wait to get the pieces that they needed organically. They traded away their future to win then.
Yeah, and they still didn't win.
So. Yeah, well, because LeBron was on the Heat at the time, and that was nobody's going to overtake that. But that was just I still don't understand that trade. I didn't understand it then. I don't understand it now, and
I still go read it.
So I can read off the trade live right now because it's pretty funny. Let me go take a look and see if I can find it anywhere. So I'll just look up Paul Pierce and see if I can find the actual things. Okay. So here we go. Traded by the Boston Celtics with Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry, DJ White, a 2017 first-round pick that was Kyle Kuzma was taken with eventually, and a 2017 second-round pick that some European guy was taken with. I've never even heard of him. To the Brooklyn Nets for Keith Bogans, Marshawn Brooks, Chris Humphries, Chris Joseph, Gerald Wallace, who they had just acquired for the pick that became Damian Lillard. So they're already getting rid of Gerald Wallace. 2014 first-round pick. Oh, so James Young. Actually, Smart was the Celtics pick. So James Young, who was actually a bust. A 2016 first-round pick, which was Jaylen Brown. A 2017 first-round pick, which was Markelle Fultz. And a 2018 first-round pick. So that's coming up this offseason. So they gave up, basically, they could have had anybody they wanted where James Young was taken, Jaylen Brown, Fultz, and whatever pick comes up this season. They also could have had Lillard because they wouldn't have traded for Gerald Wallace. Lillard's the big miss, honestly. I mean, people don't realize that they could have had him. That was their pick that they got.
Yeah, and come on now, Lillard in the East. I mean,
Lillard's really underrated. He's a really
who knows what would have happened? To me, the only thing is really he's in the West.
I mean, he's very similar to Kyrie Irving. It's just he's sort of trapped.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at the trade that became Lillard. So, traded by the Portland Trailblazers to the New Jersey Nets is when they were New Jersey Nets for Mehmet Okur, Sean Williams, and a 2012 first-round pick. Damian Lillard was later selected. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
The Nets are just. I remember they gave up some stuff in the Darren Williams.
And even this year, with them giving up the pick that ended up becoming Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, I get the logic.
You can't win.
I get the logic on that one. I mean, Russell's been pretty decent for them when he's played, and I get that he has high upside and stuff. I mean, how are you supposed to know Kuzma's going to do that? That's
True.
Like you sort of know what you're going to get from a bunch of old 35 to older year olds. When you trade away a bunch of first round picks. I don't fault them as much for the Kuzma thing. You win some, you lose some. I think Jared Allen.
It just shows their luck.
Yeah. So I think Jared Allen was
he was a good pick.
Yeah, he was a pick that they got in a trade. I don't remember.
Yeah, they got him from the Wizards.
Did they? Oh, for Bogdanovich.
Yeah, which the Wizards didn't even keep, so it was pointless.
Yeah.
And they got McCullough, but they don't play him. I think they sent it to the G League. Like from last I saw McCullough, he was in New York for last.
McCullough looked pretty good. I remember he was like a rookie when I was covering the Nets, and
yeah, he looked good then. But it's just like what happened between now and then. I don't even think it's him. I think it's the fact that they don't even let him play.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
the
Nets gave up on him really easily. So. But here's the Darren Williams trade. This is actually kind of interesting.
But I have a question. Why did
the New Jersey?
I have a question though. Why did the Nets give up on him? Because I only saw the ending of his rookie year, like when he was coming back from the injury.
So
but then that next year, I don't understand why because I didn't see him.
My theory is the same. They give up on him maybe for the same reason that Anthony Randolph, despite having all that talent, never made it. He just might not have had the body to withstand the NBA season. Do you remember Anthony Randolph back in the day?
I'm like really relatively new to the whole.
Okay, so Anthony Randolph was a guy who was taken. Let me look him up. But I think he might.
Because he was supposed to be. Yeah. Chris was supposed to be a higher draft pick prior to the injury.
Yeah, so the injury combined with, I think, his weight might be the biggest issue. I mean, he's just really thin.
Yes, he's like.
And I think it's like, okay, so maybe a more recent example of somebody like that, maybe somebody like Thon Maker, somebody who's just a little bit too thin. So Chris McCall is listed at 6'11", 200 pounds. That's like I'm 6'5", like 210, and my BMI is normal. Like I look okay. Like imagine being 6 inches taller and like way lighter. I mean, so Anthony Randolph, I think, might have been even worse with his weight. And again, I think Thon Maker looks like he needs a sandwich. I mean, he just doesn't. He's so light. But so Anthony Randolph was a guy. He was picked 14th overall by the Warriors. He had a season where he never averaged more than 22 minutes per game. But it wasn't because he wasn't playing well. He was a good player. He made his free throws. He was a good defender. Like he scored the ball. All of his advanced stats were really good. But he was so light. And, you can't sustain 6'10", 205 pounds. And I think McCulloch just can't get the minutes because he can't put on the weight.
Yeah, it's difficult for him out there. If he was bigger, it would be easier. Like even the way he moves is kind of awkward because it just
it's like
there's nothing there.
It messes with your knees and so like it's also something that I think like Chris Bosh was always sort of thought to be kind of light. Chris Bosh was like 6'11", but he was like 230 something pounds. And he wasn't the lightest guy. Like 6'11", 235 is kind of light, but it's 35 pounds heavier than 200. Yeah. But let me look at BMI calculator, because I guarantee a 6'11", 200 pounds is really, really, really unhealthy. 6'11". That's normal by like a hair. What is mine then? Am I overweight?
I don't think.
No, I'm normal. Anyways, but yeah, Anthony Randolph had sort of a similar thing where he's really underweight. And again, like McCulloch looked like he had a lot of potential. But I'm worried about that. Again, the guy that came in the league this year was Harry Giles. And everyone was excited about him and stuff. I mean, doesn't he have weight problems too, being underweight?
I'm not sure if he has weight problems. I just knew about the injury.
I know in terms of, I remember he sort of doesn't look like he has like the NBA body. No, he doesn't have weight problems. Maybe I was wrong about that. Yeah. No, I'm definitely wrong about that. Yeah, so Thon Maker is definitely another guy. He's like 7'1", 7'2", and he's thin. I mean, he just needs to eat something. It's really bad. But I think that's probably the problem with McCulloch. Again, McCulloch can shoot the ball a little bit. Seems like a pretty decent defender, but might just not be able to, keep up with, bigger guys. I think that's the same problem that Brandon Ingram had. Ingram is really crafty, but it's obvious that he needs more weight to be more explosive because he just doesn't seem as explosive as I think he could be.
Yeah, but he looks like he's putting on weight though, and muscle.
A little bit, yeah. No, he's definitely putting on weight. I think he needs to put on more.
He was literally so tiny.
Oh, I remember Colin Cowherd, who I love to watch, had him on the show and was like, "You need to eat a sandwich, kid. Like, you need to go."
You said you love to watch Colin Cowherd.
I do like Colin Cowherd.
I used to, but then he started saying some crazy stuff. I'm like, okay, you need.
Was he really? I haven't watched in a while. What has he been up to?
I did used to like watching him though. He was
I like these. He's very adamant about LeBron and stuff, and like
I love his voice.
Yeah, his analogies are so bad though. It's really funny, honestly. He tries to make these analogies and be profound and stuff, and it's just like you're saying stuff, and like I sort of get what you're trying to do, but it's just not very good. But no, he's really entertaining. It was, he's an interesting guy. I like that whole network. I like Whitlock a lot too. Whitlock's great.
Whitlock.
But you don't like Whitlock?
He's
Yeah, I like him. I like Nick Wright
I like
as well.
Skip Bayless.
You like Skip Bayless, really?
I love Skip Bayless.
I like how he doubles down even when he knows he's wrong. It's kind of funny. Like he and Stephen A. Smith was like the funniest guy. He still is the funniest guy. I really like him. He's just but he was much better with Skip than he is with Max. I think because Skip was like Max doesn't say nearly as many crazy things as Skip does.
Yeah.
So it's like the outrage is not as justified. It seems like nowadays with Max Kellerman.
Yeah. I was watching Stephen A. Smith, and my sister was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "It's Stephen A. Smith." And she was like, "Really? He sounds different." I said, "He's not yelling." She's like, "Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is." Because he was just talking in a calm voice, and she's like, "Who is this?"
He can go from like 0 to 100 so quickly.
Yeah.
But no, I love his like Kwame Brown stuff. Just because I felt bad for Kwame. I really think that Michael Jordan probably derailed his confidence. But then again, you're an NBA player, you got to toughen up a little bit.
Yeah.
But did you ever hear his stuff about what was it? Thiago Splitter, where Skip Bayless was like, the Spurs are not going to win tonight without Thiago Splitter. He sets the best screens on the team. And Stephen A didn't even get mad or anything. He just started cracking up and he couldn't stop laughing because he's like, Skip, what are you talking about? Like setting screens, the Spurs with their championship roster, and they're worried about a guy who sets good screens. It was really funny. Like Thiago Splitter was okay, but Stephen A was like, yeah, like he's the X factor for sure. Not like Kawhi or Tim Duncan or anything.
He says anything. He says anything. Like today he was talking to, I don't even know if it was today's interview, but they were talking to Jason Terry, and he was talking about Jason Terry was like, "Man, I didn't even know who I was guarding last night." And he was like, "You don't know who Brent Forbes is?" And he starts going, he's like, I feel like you disrespecting Brent. I'm like, first of all,
who's but no, like I Skip and Shannon are now, Shannon Sharp is hilarious
together. I like them together. I also like Joy as their moderator. I don't like Molly. She gets on my nerves.
Who?
Molly.
Oh, you mean on Stephen A show?
On Stephen A. To me, she just
the thing with Joy is that she like pokes and prods them, and she gets them angry at each other, and it's pretty funny.
And then she's like sitting there.
Yeah, she'll just sit there and like sort of like smirk while they yell at each other. It's really
Joy is the one that still hates LeBron, correct?
I don't remember
for leaving
I don't know. I don't know
if it's her or Molly.
I know more about the one that's Cowherd's co-host.
Kirsten. Oh gosh, her.
Yeah, so she hates LeBron, and
she's crazy.
She's I don't know. She's okay, but I'm not the biggest fan.
Pretty.
Huh?
That's a pretty.
But
that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, so like for example, I think Katie Nolan's pretty good. You ever watch anything with Katie Nolan? Like what was it, Garbage Time that she had, and she had some other shows and stuff. She's pretty funny. She's pretty actually on the cuff funny. I don't know if you ever watched like Garbage Time or anything like that.
I haven't watched that. I catch up on like YouTube. I just keep it that way. Like I watch that.
You search like some of Kate Nolan's old stuff. She's pretty funny off the cuff. But yeah, I mean, it's just like Fox is just full of guys that are really loud nowadays. It's pretty funny.
I like Nick. Was it Nick?
Nick Wright's pretty good. Yeah.
And, I just don't like how they act towards him with the whole, his love for LeBron. I mean, if you love somebody, you love somebody.
Yeah, but he has again, he's like I think that going after a player for something that's not their fault is stupid. But I also think that you shouldn't defend somebody if it is their fault. So I think, you got Skip doing the first one where all he does is attack LeBron, and you got Nick Wright always defending him, even if he might be wrong once or twice. So I think you just have to sort of see it as it is. And, LeBron's a player that I consider to be probably the most valuable player to a single team in NBA history. Nobody has ever provided such a massive positive impact as LeBron. But, I mean, he does do stuff wrong. Like, he has messed up over the years.
Oh, definitely.
So, but
a lot of stuff.
So I think we should probably start wrapping this up because I'm going to drive down to Virginia tonight.
Okay.
But it was great having you, and we'll definitely do this again.
Thank you. It was great to be here. Also, one thing. Do you think Kawhi is leaving the Spurs? One thing before we go, because that's the last thing I watched before I got on here.
Yeah, so I think maybe he might. Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility.
Skip looks so sad about it. He can't even, even talk. You
I mean,
know,
everyone was like, LeBron will be in Cleveland forever, but he wasn't, was he? Like,
nope.
you know, again, like I
thought that Kawhi was gonna keep his Spurs mindset, but he just looks over them. He looks like he's tired.
Yeah, but they also aren't doing a good job. Like in that system, how does Rudy Gay work out? A guy who the ball stops with, you know? I don't understand some of their signings, you know. Like again, I think Kawhi should stay, and I still think Kawhi's a pretty high character guy, but it's very clear that he's frustrated. So I think it's definitely a possibility that he leaves. People don't want to admit it, but at the same time, people didn't want to admit LeBron might leave. So, and he did. He went to Miami. So Kawhi, you know, you see the Heat pillow back there, come to Miami.
The Heat, I swear.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you guys for watching.
I forgot there's like people on here. Thanks for watching, guys. Well, I mean, even if people aren't watching now, somebody's gonna like watch the replay. So
yeah, most likely.
I'll share it on my
Janice's channel is also in the description as well. You go check her out. She makes good commentary and NBA videos. Also, my new website that I just launched a few days ago is
it's up. It's up.
Yeah, it's up. I'll send you the link also.
Okay, send me the link. I didn't know it's up. I thought you were like almost done with it.
No, I finished yesterday actually. I went up yesterday. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. But anyways.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I will I'll see you guys in the next stream. I might do another one later in the week. I'm gonna be away for a little bit, but I'll still have internet and I'll still have access to stuff, so I might do something. But I'll see you guys later.
Okay, bye guys.